Welcome everyone to this new channel called True Norse, and also welcome to this first episode of the series How to Read Runestones, because you want to read Runestones, right? That's why you're here. So this is it is a runestone called VG20. Stands for Västergötland, and the 20th stone found in this area. This stands in a place called Västanåker in a town called Lidköping in Västergötland. That's the west of Sweden. It's about 2.5 meters high and about 0.9 meters at the base. And the runes are about 10 centimeters, 10 to 14-15 centimeters. That's pretty normal, pretty standard runestone. It says something about someone raising a stone over someone who died somewhere, and that's about it. So if you would ask someone what's so special about this stone, they would probably say, there's nothing special about that stone, it's a regular runestone. But I would say that all runestones, almost all runestones are special in some way, because they can tell us so much more than just a message that someone raised a stone and someone died. And here is the message. It says, you can see there is nothing there. This is this part. This is because this stone was found in a bridge, used as a stone in a stone bridge. So horses and wagon wheels and stuff like that has erased bits of the stone. I don't know really how it was put in the bridge, but this part is pretty worn away and this part is pretty worn out too. So who raised this stone, we will never know. There are traces of, as you can see in yellow here, traces of what we believe are lines. And there are the red piece here is as deep as the rest of the runes. And then we have faint traces of a stave. There are 2 or 3 more of those, but they are so faint that I couldn't even see them on the picture. So I left them out, so we will never know who raised this stone. But someone did, and probably the name starts somewhere around here. So I would guess maybe 5 or 6 letters that are missing. That's a guess. We have no idea. Looks like this could be an R, but I don't really think they would end the name with one of these R's. So maybe, I don't know. So what did it say? Risti stin efter kurmar sunsin jarvar trebin a iklanti. That's clear as day, isn't it? So someone raised or carved stone after Kurmar, that's a name, his or her son. We don't know his or her because that's gone. That was slain on England. So that's weird. But anyway, what can this stone tell us? First of all, I would like to say that the official translation of this name, Kurmar, as you have here, Kurmar, that is translated to Gudmar. I don't agree with that translation one bit. The reason would be that this R is a miscarving of the rune. We don't have any of those here, but yeah, the rune. So that would say Gudmar, I don't believe that. I believe Kurmar should more believe something like Gorm, which was a far more common name than Gudmar. So I believe someone raised the stone after Gorm, his or her son, that was slain on England. So what can we see more about this? What can we see? First of all, we can see that the person carving this stone probably didn't have much experience in carving runestones, because as you can see here, this S and this S and this S are not the same. So this is a pretty common mistake. This doesn't say that the person couldn't write runes, because they probably could, but they probably made the main stave, the main rune staff, first. Maybe when counting out how the rune should be placed, or maybe just sloppy. So this is the rune S, like it's supposed to look. The next S we tried to save, so probably this part was not filled in with paint if they painted the stone back then, so it probably looked just like an S. Next time the carver makes the same mistake, he makes the main staff and realizes his mistake and thought that was a solution, but not a great solution, so we will just do it from there. Boom, there. Now we have an S. So we have one correction of an S and another correction of another S, and this tells me that this person didn't make runestones very much. Maybe carved in wood, but not in stone. If you do this mistake on wood, you can just take the shave it off the wood and make a new one. So that's an interesting detail. So this stone was not carved by some kind of rune master or something like that. Probably either this guy who raised the stone, and he actually says that this guy carved, not raised. Risti. It could be translated as raised, but I believe it should be carved. So that's the first thing we can learn. Another thing we can learn is this word tripin or träpin, träban. This could be, I'm here, this could be, we'll come to that later. This could be an early version of A.D. Because if you see all the other T's, this is T, this is a T, and that's a T, you can clearly see the T's in the stone, except this one. And that's the T in Iklanti. So that could be an early form of, or an early .D rune, which tells us that this stone is kind of late and not that early. The dots in the B are very shallow, so there could be a similar shallow dot here that we actually can't see anymore, and that's why a part of the T is missing here. And that's interesting. If you don't think so, I do think so. And then what I was coming to here in this trebin was, this is the word, this is still a word in at least Swedish. I think they have it in Norwegian. I think they have it in Danish still too. Dräpa. That's a weird word to use in a stone like this, because some people think Oh, this person made a stone after his son who was killed in England. Oh, it should be a Viking. I don't think so. Or there are many possibilities here. You see, this word means more personal killing, like a murder, execution, assassination, to totally destroy someone or to slay someone. And that's not words you use for soldiers in battle. You don't say that I sent in 100 soldiers and they were murdered by the enemy. That's not how you use that word. They were killed or fallen or something like that. This word means more intent. So what this could mean, if they were Vikings, I think the dotted runes actually say that they were probably not Vikings, because I think this stone is too late for Viking. But I could be wrong, I can't promise anything. But what it could mean is he could have been killed by one of his own because of something he did or did not do, like a punishment. Or maybe he stole something he shouldn't be stealing, or maybe he killed someone he shouldn't have killed, or made something wrong for his own troops. So they killed him, or some way punished him, or maybe just assassinated, or, you know, murdered by his own. It could also mean that this guy was in England for some other reason than killing and looting the Viking way. Maybe this was a trader and he was there to make business, or he was there to do something else, establish a farm or something. There could be many reasons for people being in England at this time. He could have been killed for looking like a Viking, or maybe, I don't know, something, being somewhere he didn't belong. So what this stone tells me is that this stone was raised after someone named Gorm that did something he shouldn't have done, and so he was killed, intentionally killed, murdered, or assassinated, or executed. And another thing we can read from this stone is that it's probably not Christian. It has no crosses on it. It has no God help his soul, or God help him, or Mother of God, or this and that, and someone related to God help him in some way, angels and stuff. But it's not really that old either, so to be heathen, or maybe there are no snake heads or dragon heads. There are no extra carvings, images, nothing like that. Could mean that this carver just wanted to make the message and the stone, and that's it. And he wasn't used to carving runestones in stone, or runes in stone, runestones. So we just skipped that part and just made a line that I raised this stone over my son who was killed. So that's something that this stone can tell us that you don't see right away. We can also see, and this is pretty clear whenever you look at a runestone, that this inner line, where the base line for the runes is the line that was carved first, and the outer line is made after the inner line, or after the runes are made. You can see that very clearly here, where you can see it on this picture, of course, because I didn't make one of those. This upper line goes into and stops here. Then it comes back out of the B, which means the B was made before this line was made. And that's interesting, because the common idea is that this field for the runes the lines between where the runes are supposed to be was made first, and then they carve the runes last. I do not think that is the case, because on almost all runestones we see the inner line is connected with the runes in a natural way. The upper line, however, can have small distances between the runes and the line, and also sometimes the line comes out from a rune, not being a straight line above the rune. So that's also an interesting detail we can see. So that's about it. That's how you read this runestone. So from being a perfectly normal runestone, nothing special, someone raised a stone over someone who died somewhere, we have learned a bit about the person carving the stone and another bit about this person having the stone raised over him. And that's interesting. So every stone is unique, every stone has its details that you probably miss if you don't look for them. So that's an opener, first episode in this series on how to read runes. I will come back with more, probably better. As I said, this is the first video. I don't really know how to do this, but yeah, there you go. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, then leave a like anyway, to be nice. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.